fortified. Twisted shit encrypted and codified. Products of a simulation. First generation sufferers of overstimulation. My stipulation got me looking for some ventilation. I changed the station, ignoring Satan's invitation. No visitation for my brothers off solicitations. Incarcerations, it's called the Matrix. If life's a bitch, then she's a dominatrix. So death got to be your masculine presence. Opening his arms while you bask in his essence. Sometimes when I talk to God, I call my passive aggressive. Will I open heaven's doors or just burn from my lessons? Blessings. You know the game been told. If I was you, then my soul would have been sold. Watch what you do, cause it's coming back tenfold. Either way it goes, man, I'm 10 toes, 10 toes, 10.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We back at it. We back at it. Y'all see the title. You already know what the time it is. Like, this is something that definitely be on my spirit a lot. I talk to a lot of people, and I don't think we realize, you know, the damage of being exposed to like the church can do. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people who always say, well, my church not like that. My church is not like that. You know, it's different. They always want you to compartmentalize the church. But when I talk about things like hip hop, people just say, oh, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's like, but when it comes to that damn church, it's like, oh no, you gotta deal with the right pastor. No, it's all the same shit. No, we're going to keep that same energy. Shout out to Lady Quantum Love. She said, yes, it has. Black church mass needs to fall. It does nothing for me. I think so. Shout out to Bruce in the building. You know what I'm saying? I think so. You know, and the damage it does to people, and I think it festers. And I'm not going to be here long. I'm going to be on, shout out to Black Men Unfiltered. I'm going to be on there at about 8 o'clock. So yeah, this is a short one. But I just wanted to hit it real quick. I think that it's ran its course. And I think it's a breeding ground for a lot of divisive energies and a lot of divisive appetites, a lot of vanity, a lot of cult of personality energy. Shout out to Ms. Plum in the building. Appreciate you, sister. A lot. I think it's a breeding ground for that. And I want to highlight that with a few clips I found and just talk about it, because as someone who grew up in the church, when you grow up there and like that's all you know, there's a difference. You got different people that visit the church. They mom make them go sometimes, but then you got people who like are a part of the church community and they're ingrained in it and they bring their children. That's a different mindset. It's almost like growing up in a cult. And the first people that you meet are these people in this place. And the way you identify with other people, the way you identify with yourself is based on these people. And it can retard your social development. And I'm literally a victim of it. I've been through that. And I know people who has, but it's not something that is talked about. It's something that people kind of keep a secret, but it's not a joke. And we just gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into it. Y'all know the slogan. Y'all know we trying to do support the channel. You know what I mean? Popping a new pair of shoes and a new camera. We ain't passing. No trash basket around. You already know what it is.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was a trash. Don't be good. No.
Support the channel. Support the channel. But we're going to get into it. I'm about to share my screen. And, yeah. Let's see. Yep. So just these clips that when I seen them, it triggered something in me, and it brought back memories of how things was when I was younger. And I want y'all to see this, because my mother, man, rest in peace, mama. My mother gave the church a lot of her years. And a lot of people don't know what that's like to see your mother give money and give her time to a place that never really appreciate them. None of them even came to my mother's funeral or nothing. See, my mother gave these people almost, I would say, a good 20 years of her life. You know what I'm saying? She went to the school of ministry, you know, all types of stuff. You know, they have these schools they have you go to. What's up, Chanel? Appreciate you, sister. They had these school, Reaper Rails. What's up? they have these schools that they might have you attend. They might call it school of ministry. These schools ain't accredited. Like imagine, like I'm going this place. My mother worked there as a teacher. I went to school there as a student. She was a deaconess, so we was there on the weekend. So that's Saturday. That's Monday through Friday plus Saturday and Sunday. Because Saturday is when they had a school of ministry. So she went to school on Saturday for a degree that wasn't accredited. She brought it to the workforce and they laughed. They thought, they was like, nah, we can't take it. They embarrassed her. It was embarrassing. My mother putting all this time and money in this place and she couldn't even take this degree anywhere. Did she get her money back? Was she refunded for that? Of course not. They still was billing her, still charging her. So we there she works there. Her son goes to school there. I'm a part of a little dance team they had. They wouldn't even hire me for a summer job. So when you grow up in a place like this and your initial interaction with the world is through these people, it can definitely retard your social ability, and it can make you feel like you're unworthy, or it'll make you accept mistreatment. Because it's people come to church for, at least when I was younger, they would come to church because they wanted a miracle, whether it be a financial miracle, a physical miracle. Like it was driven by a supernatural result in their life. So when they got there, they would realize that it went from getting a supernatural result to pleasing the presbytery, and how they feel about you determines how God views you. This happens for real. So when I seen this clip, it kind of triggered that in me. And I think y'all might have seen it, but we're gonna watch it again because that's me, man. That woman right there, that's my mother. That little boy, that's me. And when I seen this shit, it hurt my heart. Let's watch it.
Giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus 200.
See that smile? See that? See, I want to play by play this because y'all got to know what y'all be looking at when y'all in these places. You see how this little boy is smiling right now? You see that connection? You see how they looking? That's somebody he looks up to that man. He admires that man. He's been taught by this place that if this man favors me, I'm favored by God. That's the interaction that y'all are watching. So I need y'all to pay attention to what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? They play the music. You know, the music is very emotional. Oh, no, of course he not. But Reaperell, a lot of people think they is. These people got our people like this. Most of our people is in these buildings. So we got to get them. At least make an attempt. Just watch this.
$35 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying.
This nigga said that's only $1,200. That's somebody fucking rent. That's the whole paycheck. But this is my problem with stuff like this. It don't necessarily be him. It be that congregation that's sitting there and watching that shit and they don't feel offended. We don't have, our people don't got no heart no more. Like we watch this stuff. We see how it disturbs our spirit and we don't say nothing. Just watch this nigga.
If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Where's the spirit of the Lord? Where's the love? That ain't what I asked you to do. Like, what the fuck is going on? He said, that's not what I asked you to do. Peace, sister. What's going on? He said, that's not what I asked you to do. No, you know what, sister? I respect it. You did the best you can. He embarrassed that woman and her son. I've been there. I know how that feels. That shit is fucking depressing, man. And these people go to this place and they go for love and they get treated like this. And as you can see, we have this spirit of the colonizer in everything we fucking do, whether it be church, whether it be music, YouTube. We think motherfuckers that do fuck shit is where we need to be. We want to be close to that. We think that's real power. Peace, bro. We think that treating your people like shit is keeping it real. And showing love is some soft shit. Just look at this nigga. He married that woman. And her son.
It had had to be the man on the organ for me, because what was those last little messy notes? Not the womp, womp, womp Charlie Brown notes. Another pastor has gone viral, and once again, it happens during the offering portion of service, although it seems like this whole service was nothing but offering.
A lot of churches get in trouble because they wait on the government to give them programs to offset their budgets. And then when those candidates are out of office, they don't have anything. This is the reason.
Let me tell y'all something. These churches get 501(c)(3)s when they speak from an inspirational base. So all of them got paid. They don't pay no fucking taxes. They get a 501(c) because they preach from the inspirational. There's a way to teach the Bible, and they're not allowed to teach it a certain any kind of way. So when they teach from a strictly an inspirational perspective, that makes them 501(c) credible. As soon as they start dropping them jewels, they don't get access to that money like that. So he just told on himself. The government pays these niggas to keep you fucking stupid. So when the government stop paying, they want you to pay them to keep them fucking stupid. These places are houses of fucking Satan. I said it.
The teaching of tithes and offerings is crucial to not only the success of the church, but the longevity of the church.
Now, in this clip, you see Pastor Winans abruptly stop the service, not to pray, not to worship, but to rebuke a fellow parishioner for giving $1,200 instead of
$1,200 in a time where people are struggling and trying to do the best they can. He didn't say, "Thank you, sister. I appreciate your effort." He disrespected this woman. How long is this place is going to be considered a place that galvanizes us? This place is a breeding ground for ignorance. Truth and Purpose said, you said people go there for love. What is love? And do you believe majority of church are like this? And do you believe there are no decent churches? Good question. I mean, I think there's decent people, but I think, like the Bible said, you can't get a clean thing from an unclean thing. And personally, I don't think Christianity and the Bible is synonymous. I think it was made synonymous. But when you read the Bible, it really is not talking about Christians. The people in the Bible are more Islamic than anything. So I don't necessarily, the white man told you that the Bible is about the Christians. What did Jesus believe? What was his belief? He was just a man. So peace is the answer. You know what I mean? He came with peace. Christianity, what is it? Christianity is, I bet, there's different definitions. Now you got what people think it is, but to me, Christianity is a political movement of the Catholic Church to colonize people and take their resources. That's what Christianity is to me. Period. Now, what people want it to mean, that's what they want it to mean. But as far as an institutionalized train of thought, Christianity was a militarized religious movement to take from us. Point blank, period. It's not something we ever needed. It's not something that we needed to develop into. We didn't need it. Like I have a book called shout out to Keisha, what's going on? I got a book that speaks about how we behaved when they found us. Because a lot of people say, well, without Jesus or without the God or without the Bible, where would we be? How would we know how to behave? And that's just simply not the case. I can read to y'all. Would y'all like to hear me read from scholarship tonight? Or y'all just want to see videos? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear some scholarship. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear some scholarship. Like the Bible is just a book of knowledge. I don't necessarily associate it with Christianity. It's been hijacked by the Christians, because the true Christians is the Ethiopians. And Black people love to bring up the Ethiopians as proof of the Bible or Christianity, but they don't read from that same book. So hold on, y'all. I'll be back. All right, y'all. So this is from a book. I love to refer to this book because there's so much information here. It's called The Iceman Inheritance my camera backwards, so y'all probably can't see. It's called The Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley. And the introduction is by John Henry Clark. So for people who love to say that, where would we be without the Bible? Where would we be without the word of God? We would have been fine. So this is a excerpt of, there was a Catholic priest called, his account of what he found when he got here. He came with the Christians. The Christians is with him. He's with the Spaniards and the Catholics, and they're here in the Americas. And he's talking about how these people were naturally behaving when he got here. No religion attached to these people. This was their natural disposition. There is a need to look at European racism in the opening of the so-called New World. That's where we at, right? He said the best of the early recorded accounts come from Father Bartholomew de las Casas, who came to America on the third voyage of Christopher Columbus. When Christopher Columbus noticed the rapid disappearance of the Native Americans over the time of his 3 visits, he would go to de las Casas and request that he petition the Vatican for an increase in the Atlantic slave trade, with the pretense that this increase would save the souls of the Native Americans. De las Casas is considered the first historian of the New World. His account of mass murder and the disappearance of the natives of the New World, mistakenly called Indians, is entitled The Devastation of the Indies. A brief account was published in 1974. Father de las Casas' account of the island of Hispaniola, which is modern day Haiti, in the Dominican Republic. So this is what he said he found when he got here. He said, all the land so far discovered is a beehive of people. It is as though God had crowded into these islands the great majority of mankind. And of all the infinite universe of humanity, these people are the most guileless, the most devoid of wickedness and duplicity, the most obedient and faithful to their native masters and to the Spanish Christians whom they serve. They are by nature the most humble, patient, and peaceable, holding no grudges, free from embroilments, neither excitable nor quarrelsome. These people are the most devoid of rancors, hatreds, or desires for vengeance of any people in the world. And because they are so weak and complacent, they are less able to endure heavy labor and soon die of no matter what malady. The sons of nobles among us, brought up in the enjoyments of life refinements, are no more delicate than are these Indians, even those among them who are the lowest rank of laborers. They are also poor people, for they not only possess little, but they have no desire to possess worldly goods. For this reason, they are not arrogant, embittered, or greedy. That's how we behave when they got here. Already had Christ-like energy with no religion. Our nature is peace. Don't let nobody tell you that you need a belief system to be that. This is from the horse's mouth. This is the account of one of the first historians of the Atlantic slave trade. This is how these people behave. So listen, this is on page 16. This is not even this is just in the introduction. This is not even the book. This is the introduction. This book is from the Iceman Inheritance. I'm reading from the Iceman Inheritance. I'm just reading the introduction. This is not even the meat of the book. Talking about how the Native Americans would behave and how the Christians treated them. So that's why I'll be on that church, because this is the foundation of our beliefs. This is the foundation of the Christian church in America. This right here, not Ethiopia. This. I need you to listen real carefully. This brother says, "Do you believe the Bible doesn't belong to us? Can an enemy use what is yours to manipulate and claim?" That's exactly what they did. I mean, knowledge is knowledge. No one owns knowledge. So anybody can use knowledge to hurt or harm you. So it's not about it belongs to us. It's just knowledge. It's not predicated on church or Christianity. It's just a book of information that's been edited, repurposed, and missing mad chapters that removes huge lumps of context. Name me a subject in school that you can study and pass that test with missing chapters. Name me one field of study that you can do that with. You can't. So you mean to tell me that you can study that book for your life with missing chapters and pass the test of life? I highly doubt that. So back to what happened when he found us here. He said they were very clean in their persons with alert, intelligent minds, docile and open to doctrine, like we are now, always down to believe what somebody said. Very apt to receive our holy Catholic faith, to be endowed with various customs and to behave in a godly manner. So what he's saying is they were so open to learning this new idea because they were such good people. So they felt like, okay, if this is something that's benevolent, yeah, we'll learn it. So they was open to it. Yet, he said, yet into this sheepfold, into this land of weak outcasts, there came some Spaniards who immediately behaved like ravening wild beasts, wolves, tigers, or lions that had been starved for many days. And Spaniards have behaved in no other way during the past 40 years down to the present time, for they are still acting like ravening beasts, killing, terrorizing, afflicting, torturing, and destroying the native peoples, doing all this with the strangest and most varied new methods of cruelty never seen or heard of before, and to such a degree that this island of Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti and Dominican Republic, once so populous, having a population that estimated to be more than 3 million, has now a population of barely 200 persons. 200 people. That's why when people try to bring up that shit about, oh, our people fucked up, our behavior never was predicated on, the way we were treated was never predicated on behavior. We was behaving the right way from day one, and they just started hanging and killing motherfuckers. So don't listen to these people and make you feel like your behavior is why things are what they are. It was never that. It's that niggas don't give a fuck no more. And I'm not justifying that either. But we talking about years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Okay, you're not listening. You're not listening, brother. You're not hearing emotion. This is from a book. This is scholarship. So it's obvious that you're a Christian, and like I said, these people are demonic. You see how I'm reading from scholarship and how he's responding? These people are demonic. I never said I believe I'm good or bad or not. Like, I'm just a person. Some days I make mistakes. Some days I do well. Like, I'm not acting like I'm holier than thou, but this is this is the Christian mindset. It's judgmental, it's demonic. As soon as you call it out and find hypocrisy, they come and attack you all the time. I think I know who this dude is. You want to come online and get cooked? You are more than welcome to do so. You are more than welcome to get cooked because you easy work. But yeah, y'all, that's how we behave when they found us.
$1,000. Now, I wanted to look within the context of this situation to find out exactly what happened, and that's exactly what I did. Here we go.
I want a generation that recognizes I gotta give because that's how God gives back to me. Are you listening to me?
See, that's a mistruth. You gotta give what to who? You know what I'm saying? Who said that you have to give to a pastor for God to bless you? I remember I used to work at the airport a long time ago. I met this older woman, and she said she tithes into people. And when she said that, that stuck with me. Because you mean to tell me that if I'm giving to the poor and I'm giving to my family, that God is not going to bless me? But if I give to a pastor, I'm going to be blessed. Like, I'm not going to be blessed by giving to people. Yeah, it's some truth in the Bible, but it's not 1,000% accurate. Like, at the end of the day, we have to get to a point where we have to when you're dealing with real academic discussion, you cannot start with belief. You just can't. You have to start with actual documented history. And the Bible is not an actual history book. I don't have hate in my heart. Yeah, this guy's weird. Yeah, this guy's weird. But that's how they see how they are. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm expressing hate. If I'm expressing hate, put a 1 in the chat. These dudes be mad as hell. I know y'all love the church. I know y'all love it so bad, but it never meant us good. Never. We never needed it. And I brought receipts of how we acted when we was here. I brought receipts how we behaved before that. Let's ask ChatGPT if the Bible is accurate history. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. ChatGPT, is the Bible an accurate depiction of history for academic debate? Depiction of history for academic historical purposes. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I said, is the Bible an accurate depiction of history for academic historical debate? Short answer, the Bible is not treated as a single, fully accurate historical record in academic history, but parts of it are considered valuable historical sources when corroborated by archaeology and external texts. So the answer is no, it's not. No, it's not. So sorry, y'all. They said the Bible is historically useful, not historically flawless. The Bible tells truth through theology more than through modern history. And this is what ChatGPT says. So I guess ChatGPT has a lot of hate in their heart too. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So there's a difference between having a connection with a higher power and having a connection with a pastor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not, y'all. But what I'm saying is y'all know more about that book than your actual history. And that's the problem. You don't know your history. You know about the Bible's perspective of history, which doesn't take into account the medieval ages, the dark age. Like, these are the time periods that literally affected you now. And y'all don't know nothing about them areas. The laws that you're dealing with now, the statutes that you're dealing with in the law now, it's all coming from the medieval period. Wars between the Moors and the Europeans. We dealing with the after effects of that. I'm a Moor, bro. That's what I am. You call yourself what you want. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing. Like, y'all think y'all know everything. Let's get back to the video, man.
And so today is our day of giving, where we give a significant offering. And if I stand here for the next 4 hours receiving money, I'm going to shout till I fall out. Because there's nothing I have that is mine, except God gave me the strength to go get it.
No, he gave you a congregation that's paying your bills. You know what I'm saying? Now, more doesn't mean black, because it can't, an adjective, a noun can't mean an adjective. That's just grammatically incorrect. So, no, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. But yeah, I can't stand these people. I'm sorry. I don't have no sympathy for no preacher, no pastor. I think they take advantage of good people. And I think they got our people under a spell, a demonic spell. Let's go to the next one. Let's check this guy out.
Here's the other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something, the poor will be with you always. And there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication.
What the hell is he talking? Like, listen, this is what y'all defending, this shit right here. This is what y'all fighting for. Did y'all hear what this man said? Our people.
The problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something, the poor will be with you always. And there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication. Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself. So when you give $1,
See, that's why you know these people don't understand the word. Helping people is about helping people. It's not about helping yourself. It's called philanthropy. Everything you do is not to get something back. That mindset is how the church have retarded the minds of people. When you give people out of your heart, you're not doing it for a result. It's because you like to do it because it makes you feel good as a man. It makes you feel good as a woman. You can sleep good at night for you know that you helped somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's not about multiplying your seed. See that's capitalism and colonization bled into some spiritual thought. It's not about doing anything to multiply anything. When I give to somebody homeless, I'm not looking for a return. It's because out the kindness of my heart, they're cold as hell, and I'm giving them a blanket. It's not about getting nothing back. That whole mindset is what got our people messed up. You do stuff just to do it.
there's somebody on the street talking about I did my job. God like, thank you, but it ain't gonna help you. Read your Bible. Charity does not bring wealth.
Who said it's about wealth? Helping people is not associated with wealth. He's conflating two conversations. Wealth is wealth. You build wealth through the way you build it. But charity is charity. You're just doing that out the kindness of your heart. But you see how he conflated the two? These people are dangerous, man.
Only the tithe does that. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna preach on it.
That was nasty work. That was nasty work. I want to know what did Jesus say about giving to the poor? No, I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna open up the panel. You could come up and tell me everything you want to. Tell me everything you need to say. I'm gonna open up the panel because homie got a lot of smoke. So come and come put it out. You ain't got to type in the chat. Come and tell me all the shit you need to say. Because I'm not telling people that if you don't give to Illa, you're gonna go to hell. I'm not telling people that if you don't donate, I'm gonna shut my stream down. I ain't doing that. I would like you to, but if you don't, hey, the Bible said a prophet is worthy of his hire. So I'm not putting no pressure on nobody to do nothing. I'm not saying if you don't give to me, you won't be blessed, you won't make it. I'm not saying that, but bring your goofy ass on. I put the link in the chat. Come on up here. Come on the Apollo stage. Come on up here. The link is in the chat. Pull up. Bring your perspective.
Here's the other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in look at him again. So you got to work the prophecy. You got to work. This year, you got to stand up.
The link in the chat.
You got to walk it out. That's how we going out of here tonight. Look at your neighbor and say, walk it out.
They walking it out now.
They trying to act like they don't know what you're referring to. Look at them and tell them, walk it out.
Hey, now walk it out, walk it out, now 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 where's that walk it out, south side walk it out, east side walk it out, north side walk it out, hey, bend your back, yo, she do it, no hands, now stop popping roll, I'm smoking cover.
Y'all keep it sanctified. I need you to walk it out. Come on.
It's not like they even made a different version. Like I remember back in the day, the church would remix songs and make like a Christian version. Like when I was young, right? They didn't have a Halloween party. They would call it a Hallelujah party. We would wear costumes, but they would Christianize it. They ain't do none of that shit. They play the lyrics. Smoking bubble, go and undercover hoe. They playing that shit in the church. Like what part of the game is that? You go into a mosque, they don't even ask you for money. And I'm not saying you should be a Muslim either. I'm just saying they don't even ask you for shit. You go in there, you wash your hands, you wash your feet, you wash behind your ears, you pray, and you go home. There is no money asked in a mosque. Go to a mosque. They don't act like this. When Jesus prayed, his forehead touched the ground. When Jesus prayed, he spoke a language called Aramaic. See, a lot of people like to talk. They just be up here just running their mouth because, you know, they never read nothing outside the Bible. They never read no history books. They have no scholarship whatsoever. One thing about a Muslim, they're scholarly. They got a lot of information to back whatever claims or belief they have. Christians don't have nothing but sign language, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Look at the dude in the chat. All he doing is insulting me. They're trying to insult me. He ain't got no book references. He can't tell me, hey, read this book. It'll nothing. They have nothing. That's why when you call them out, the devil come right out their ass. So I'm going to ask the internet, what language did Jesus speak? See, we bringing receipts. All the days of just talking. Homie ain't hit the link yet. He ain't come up here yet. Come on up here. Come on down. Come on down. Let's blow it up. Okay. Jesus primarily spoke Aramaic, a Semitic language that was that was the common tongue of daily life in first century Galilee. As a Galilean, he likely used a specific dialect of Aramaic, but he was also familiar with Hebrew for religious, scriptural, and educational purposes. Did you see that? He didn't speak Hebrew. He learned it for educational purposes. The language he spoke was Aramaic. Put a 1 in the chat if you see that. We bringing receipts. He just running his mouth. Did y'all see that? That's what the internet said. They said he spoke Aramaic specifically and spoke Hebrew for educational purposes. Of course they don't, because they don't know shit. They just believers. So, since it's been proven that he speaks Aramaic, let's look up the name for God in Aramaic. What is the name for God in Aramaic? What is the name of God in Aramaic? The Aramaic word for God is typically Ilaha or Allaha, a term closely related to the Hebrew Elohim and the Arabic Allah, all stemming from a common Semitic root. This is what Google said. This is what Google said. So Jesus was probably more likely lived Islamically than he did like a modern Christian with them big dumbass hats and polyester suits. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. These people are telling you not to give to the poor because you won't get wealthy. Giving to the poor is not about getting wealthy. That's the whole different train of thought that's not connected. The link is open, bro. Yeah, exactly. Take your goofy ass to the mother niggas channel. I know who you is. You don't have no information. You could have hit the link and you could come and debate your point. What's up? Come on up here. He said, but I'll leave the blind to the blind. Please seek the Lord. He may be just, they don't know nothing. What makes you, he just want to talk. He just wants to talk from the comment. Exactly. He ain't stupid. They can't defend nothing they talking about. See, they not used to people who really like got some scholarship. They used to just a bunch of believers. See, that's the kryptonite of these people is evidence, actual proof. That shit kills them. You know what I'm saying? That shit kill. But the link is open for anybody. Like if you want to come and you want to give pushback, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. But these people have indoctrinated us for years. And like I was just reading, Christianity came with a sword. It didn't come, people think it came out of heaven in a basket with white hands and just went like this because they seen movies like Prince of Egypt. I'm telling you how these people think, yo. They think Prince of Egypt is a documentary. They think the movie The Ten Commandments, like that's history to them. They have read nothing in history, like absolutely nothing in history. No, it's all good. They haven't read anything in history at all, like absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. He tried to compare super chats to tithes and offerings. No, it's an option. I'm never going to do this to you if you don't bring no bread. I'm not gonna embarrass you. And did to this woman. I'm not gonna do this.
In faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participate.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
How rude was that? How nasty and rude was that? That ain't what I asked you to do. It's a scam, and these so-called pastors are devils. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Lock the church, lock the door. I guess you're saying lock the door. Yeah, man, absolutely. How dare you talk to somebody in this economic climate like that? Like, why do we still go to this place? Like, at this point, it's like, hold up. She said, raised Catholic, but now no, I'm a Jesus believer. Good for you, sweetheart. I don't believe in none of that shit, respectfully. I think that your relationship with God is something that you're born with. I don't believe that you're born in sin. I think these are metaphors that have esoteric and metaphysical meanings, and they keep us in a box with this ignorance and thinking that let's just think, right? Just use your brain, like put your beliefs aside and just look at it from an objective point of view. Why would the Most High God of all gods send his son to be tortured and killed to death so you can have another day? That don't make no sense. See, that's another thing that the church does. It retards the way you observe reality. Because if you can believe that, you can believe anything. That doesn't make sense. Why do I have to remember this man by pretending to drink blood and eat flesh? That's cannibalism. That's European shit. That has nothing to do with anything benevolent at all. See, when y'all study history, you'll understand the historical, cultural connections and context. The Catholic Church crucified Jesus. He was crucified according to Roman law. So why would he be the face of their faith later? They killed him. So when you see that cross, that's not him. That's not you. That's not them telling you to remember him. That's them telling you that when people get out of line and they start galvanizing people, this is their fate. It was a warning to you. You think it was about remembering his sacrifice. If anybody died in your family, whether they got hit by a car, they got shot, they got sick, when you go to the funeral, are they gonna have a picture of them riddled with bullets? Or are they gonna have a picture of grandma with your kids? Or a picture of them in better times? Why would they remember the Son of God in his most fucked up moment? Does that make sense to you? It does if you don't study history. See, in history, when you study history, you'll realize that Jesus was considered what? A heretic. A heretic, according to the Catholic faith, is anybody that speaks against the Catholic faith, anybody that has a different outlook outside of the Pope. Jesus had that, so they killed him. Didn't they kill Malcolm? Didn't they kill Martin? Didn't they kill Medgar Evers? Didn't they kill Tupac? Anybody that has the ability to galvanize the people outside of their theology and doctrine, they killed them. Has nothing to do with him being a son of, he was just a man. So when you don't know history, you can't put the historical context to the historical events supposedly that happened in the Bible. But I have another book, just in case you think I'm bullshitting about that cannibalism thing. We pulling receipts, right? All that just saying this and saying that day is over with. But support the channel. Support the channel. I need a new camera. I'm not a minister. I'm not a pastor. I'm a brother with a 9-to-5 job and a brother that's doing content. I need support. Please show your love.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was a tract over here. No.
All right, I'm back. Now we got another book, y'all. It's another book. It's a little thicker. This book is called Mummies, Cannibals, and Vampires. You see how knowledge runs away to believers? They ran. Real information scares the shit out of them niggas because they think that all knowledge of all things ever made was in the Bible. They believe that. So when you start bringing out books, they start running. The demons come out them. So this book is called Mummies, Cannibals, and Vampires, the history of corpse medicine from the Renaissance to the Victorians. This is the back. I'm just going to read the back of the book. This book is very grotesque. They said, often presented as medieval therapy, medicinal cannibalism was in fact at its height during the social and scientific revolutions of early modern Britain. It drew strength from the formidable weight of European science, publishing, trade networks, and educated theory. And for many, it was also emphatically a Christian phenomenon. It survived well into the 18th century, and among the poor, it lingered stubbornly into the time of Queen Victoria. Christian phenomenon. So when you be doing communion, it has nothing to do with God. It comes from the mummies, cannibals, and vampires. Why they call it that? Because they used to eat the mummy. They used to eat black people when they was mummies. So when you practicing this ritual, this is what you're practicing. Why do you think our community is so messed up? Because we're literally worshiping an energy that's against you. You are the Christ. So when you go in there and pray to a bleeding man on the cross, you're actually worshiping your demise. That's what I'm saying. The Bible don't say our people are destroyed for belief. They don't say our people are destroyed because they don't pay tithe. They say our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is power. The brother Artifact said, Illa, you definitely well spoken. When I get a chance, I will tap in. It's your time to shine. You got my support. I appreciate you, brother. The Bible, okay, brother. Let me ask you this question, brother. Outside of the Bible, what do you know about our history prior to slavery and after what you consider biblical history? If you don't know what happened in between that, you don't know history, brother. Our history don't start with that book. You cannot start there and figure out today. You have to know what happened today or happened in the previous generations. Thank you, Jamie, setting it off like you always do. I appreciate you, Sister Jamie. Showing love, showing love, showing love. I appreciate you, sister. She gave the $10 super sticker. Appreciate you, sister. Appreciate you. Yeah. Y'all have to understand. You need to be inspired by these books, religious books, knock yourself out. But you need to know what happened economically, politically, that shaped the reality that you live in today. And the Bible is not going to tell you that. You need to know what happened in the 1400s, the 1500s, the 1300s. Like, that's relevant. Y'all need to know that. And if y'all just want to skip all of that document, y'all want to go from the Bible to slavery and just skip all of that. That's just ignorant, y'all. I'm your brother. You have to become more academically sound than that. You're going to sound foolish when you really debate in real scholarship and you don't have all you got is Leviticus. They're going to laugh at you. You have to learn about the history that led to the current paradigm you're in now. And our people don't do that. We move by belief. The thing about belief is you can never come to a conclusion, because somebody could say 2 + 2 is 4, and you could just say, well, I don't believe that. Even though 2 + 2 is 4, but if you don't believe it, it don't matter. See, belief interferes, is the buffer between conclusion. That's why the church let anybody come now, because it's belief. You could believe this, you can believe that, you can believe Santa Claus, belief is not reality. Everything that's real don't require belief. Do you believe the sun is going to rise or just going to rise? Do you believe you're going to wake up or you just do? Do you believe your last name is what it is? Do you believe your mother's what it is? Like, name something in your real life, in the real world, that comes to pass based on beliefs. I'll wait. Type in the chat something that can be manifested in reality. Like, can you believe that you paid your bills? Can you believe that that job hired you? Can you believe that you on time for work? Can you believe that you late? Like, where does belief fall in reality? Where? I'm just saying, where does belief fall in reality? That's all I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Where does it fall? Like, you know what we should believe in that we don't believe in? Ourselves. We believe in everything but each other and ourselves. And that's the problem. We need to believe in each other and our ability to communicate with each other and our ability to love each other. We keep believing in stuff that we can't prove, and that's a waste of time. I already read to y'all that the natural disposition of our people was peace. I'll read it again, because people hear, but it doesn't register. It just sounds like noise. They really not listening. This is how we behave with no religion. He said, of all the infinite universe of humanity, these people are the most guileless. Look up the word guileless. The most devoid of wickedness and duplicity, the most obedient and faithful to the native masters and to the Spanish Christians whom they serve. They are by nature, not by belief, not by the blood of Jesus. He said they are by nature the most humble, patient, and peaceable people, holding no grudges, free from embroilments, neither excitable or quarrelsome. That means they don't get riled up and they don't argue. He said these people are the most devoid of rancors, hatred, or desire for vengeance of any people in the world. What are you going to do with that information? They said when they got here, the people they found were the most devoid of negative people in the entire world. So you mean to tell me those people needed to believe in something? We got to think. Like, you'll be surprised how many grown adults have never thought like adults their entire lives. They just pay rent, they go to work, they just on automation. But when you really get to the foundation they thinking, they like children. Yeah, as humans, we always going to judge, but this was coming from, thank you. A priest said that when he got to the Americas, this is how the Native Americans naturally behave, with no religion. None. So that undermines anybody who think they need belief. So you got to understand something. Some people need to believe in something because they don't really have no connection to God. The people who don't feel know nothing, they need to do something. They need to wear a garb. Because they don't naturally feel connected to the Most High. That's why they got to go to church. They got to say this. They don't feel shit. They feel way removed from God. That's why they got to do a lot of things to suffice for that. They have to do a lot of ritual, a lot of behavior modification, a lot of performative acts, because they really don't feel connected to nothing. So they feel like if I say this word, if I wear this, if I go to this building, now I'm connected to God, right? No, you're not. You're already born connected. How you wake up every day. Does God wake you up and say, did you read the Bible today? Or if not, go to sleep? No, you just get up. The gift of life is given to you already. Jesus was the Prince of Peace. Islam means peace. Peace is the tie that bonds. That's why Muslims say Assalamu alaikum. The Ethiopians say Shalom. And the Jews say Salam. No, the Jews say Shalom, and the Ethiopians say Salam. They all saying what? Peace. See, religions are different types of understandings. But what did Jesus say about peace? He said, I will give you peace that do what? Surpasses all understanding. Because it's something that you either get it or you don't. Either you got peace or you don't. Peace is beyond understanding. Peace is beyond theology. It's beyond belief. It's beyond religion. See, y'all don't know how to decode the scriptures. Y'all just reading them. He said, I will give you peace that surpasses all understanding. He said, perfect love cast out all fear. Most people that go to church is out of fear. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want my mom to be mad at me. I don't want the pastor to kick me out. All right, let's find the verse. Let's find the verse. Let's go. See, I was born and raised in the church, so I know the word. I know the word. Let's go. Let's go. Philippians 4:7, and the peace of God which passes all understandings. Philippians 4:7, and the peace of God, King James Version, and the peace of God which passes all understanding shall keep your hearts and mind through Jesus Christ. And the New England, the NIV Version, and the peace of God which transcends all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ. So, like I said, peace surpasses all of that. So let's look up what understanding means. Because y'all swear y'all understand the Bible, y'all understand this, but peace surpasses all that. Perceive the intended meaning of words, to interpret or view something in a particular way. See, an understanding is, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Blood, I'm a Crip, I'm a Sigma, I'm this, I'm that. But peace surpasses all of that. That's what your book says. You either got it or you don't. Either you have peace or you don't. Either you have love or you don't. These places, these houses of worship called the Christian Black Church has caused more damage to people and to people's minds and their perception of reality and how they relate and connect with people than I've seen anything in my life personally, especially when you grow up there. So y'all don't know what it's like to be born and some shit like that. People manipulating your moms and your mothers and your parents, making them feel like they ain't worthy. It makes you feel unworthy. That's why they know how to play. You notice that when they plan, the music goes with the mood. You know, when you watch the movie, the mood changed. When the scene happened, the music changed with the mood. That's psychology. That's magic. So when it's time for praise and worship, now you up, you ready. And then when it's time to give your life to the Lord, that organ is playing because they're trying to induce fear and sadness. Today might be your last day. Now you all, oh shit, I'm going up there. Fear. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. It was introduced to us through slavery and violence and murder. It didn't come from a hand coming down out the sky with a dove on the knuckle. Like, that's not how it came to us. It was you either going to get down or lay down. Point blank, period. People always want to bring up Ethiopia. Y'all not reading the book of Enoch or none of that. Let's look up Let's look up the Ethiopian Bible because Christians always bringing that up. Let's look it up. The difference between the Ethiopian, hold up, bang, let's learn together.
What if I told you that the Ethiopian Bible?
Because they always bring this up, right? They always telling us it started in Ethiopia. So why don't we read that book? So let's learn together, y'all. We doing this together.
Bible isn't the oldest Bible. And what if I told you that its translations are nearly identical to the King James Version? And what if I told you that most of what you've heard about the Ethiopian Bible's drastic differences in what the scriptures actually say is based on misinformation? Today, we're diving into one of the biggest myths in Christianity, the Ethiopian Bible. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand its unique place in history, but you'll also see how it compares to the KJV and why it's not as different as people claim. Stick around because what I'm about to share will completely change how you see the Bible. Recently, I've been getting flooded with comments on.
He just
most Christians believe
got a video called "Why the Book of Enoch Was Removed." So it's not the same book. See, once you start learning.
What if I told you that the Ethiopian Bible isn't the oldest Bible?
Like,
and what if I told you that its translations are nearly identical to?
They're the same, bro.
The King James Version. And what if I told you that most of what you've heard about the Ethiopian Bible's drastic differences in what the script?
So that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to know how to discern. So we got to find somebody that's balanced. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Something.
Have you ever seen this before in your life? Chances are your answer is no. It looks really weird, like something you see in a treasure hunt movie, only that this is real. The Ethiopian Bible is one of the most mysterious and controversial books that ever existed. Even the country itself is shrouded in mysteries that can't be explained, but that's a story for another day. Ethiopia is home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and is the only country in Africa that was not colonized, and because of that, they can trace their lineage all the way back to Ham, one of the sons of Noah. This has even been collaborated with the Jews. But this video is not about the country itself, but about what the country possesses. Ethiopia has some of the oldest Bible scrolls that ever existed, even older than the famous KJV Bible. Other than the 66 books that make up the King James Bible, the Ethiopic Bible has 88 books and includes some works that other churches just don't have. The book has scrolls from the Old Testament, the New Testament, and scrolls that had never been seen before. And what makes this so interesting is that they had these scrolls long before Christianity first came to their society in the 4th century. In other words, Christianity wasn't a religion given to them like most nations. Christianity was already in Ethiopia. Since the 4th century, Ethiopia has been a nation of Christianity. Egyptian traveler, monk, and historian Cosmas Indicopleustes wrote that Ethiopia was a Christian country when he visited there in the middle of the 6th century. He saw how the rulers opened their borders to a lot of Christian refugees who fled to Ethiopia as they ran away from persecution from kingdoms and empires that were against Christianity. Certain Ethiopian tribes have been worshiping the Christian God for over 3,500 years. In such, the oldest organized Christian body in the world is not the Catholic ministry as many would have. You believe? But the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which is locally known as Tewahdo in Ethiopia. The country also has one of the earliest illustrated Christian books ever found, which is a part of the Gospels written in Ge'ez, an old Ethiopian language, and was found in 2010 in a monastery on top of a mountain in Ethiopia. According to the Kebra Nagast, which is in Ethiopia's holy book. In the 10th century BC, an Ethiopian ruler and the famous biblical Queen of Sheba went to Jerusalem to ask the famous King Solomon for advice. It's even recorded in the acceptable Bible canon, but what the Bible didn't tell us is that the two rulers had a son together named Menelik. Queen Sheba took the boy back to Ethiopia and made him the first emperor. In 2012, experts looked at the genetic makeup of many Ethiopians and found some evidence to support Sheba's journey to Jerusalem and birth there. In such, it is believed that Egyptian, Israeli, or Syrian people may have mixed with the Ethiopian natives around 3,000 years ago, during the time when the queen is said to have ruled the kingdom of Sheba, collaborating the story even further. Despite having all these credentials and authenticity, the Ethiopian Bible is still discarded and not taken as part of the canon of the holy books.
See? It's not even considered a part of the canon of the holy books that our people were given today. So how is the original book that's older than all of them not even included in the canon? But y'all want to keep referring to this. Y'all not reading from that Bible. Y'all not going from that perspective. You're reading what's in the canon, which is what the Catholic Church told you is acceptable. You're not connected to God and none of that shit. You don't know what you connected to the Pope, the God of this world. According to the Catholic Church, he's called the Vicar of Christ, which means he is subject to no law. That's why everybody kissed the Pope's ring. So there's nobody above him according to the law. So our people are not reading that. So what is it that we're reading? What is the energy that we're getting from these books that come from blood, tears of blood and fucking colonization? It ain't the same thing. Look at our people. Look at them. And this is the book that they hold on to so dear. And according to them, it's not even included in the canon. The original Ethiopian was not even included. So stop. So I'm tired of Christians bringing it up, the Ethiopian book. It's not even respected by the Christian church. It's not respected by the Catholic Church. It's just something that they say to let you know that it's a black thing. Yeah, but you ain't fucking with it though. So it's just something to just throw as a smoke screen. So yeah, man, like I said, the church in this current rendition is a joke. And Mimi Flo said, I know not to idolize any man, but y'all do idolize a man. Y'all idolize Jesus. Jesus was a man. He wasn't God. Like, that's not reality. He was just a man. He was just a prophet of God. There was many people that spoke like Jesus spoke. You know what I'm saying? So when you say I don't idolize a man, you kind of do. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of our women are out of pocket, because they don't mess with us because they can go to God. They don't feel like Jesus is I've literally heard women say, I'm in a relationship, I'm in love with Jesus. You don't understand the deep psychology with that. Like, they really do be in love with them. They really do have a relationship with this man because it's really psychotic, because they don't have to be responsible for what they do. Jesus is not gonna call you on the phone and say, yo, that post you just posted was some bullshit. The way you act at dinner tonight was unacceptable. Jesus can never do that. So when they say that, that's really like a smoke screen that intercepts our true connection with our woman. Because a lot of women, I've seen a lot of, growing up, I've seen a lot of people that divorced because the pastor got between the marriage, and the wife was listening to the pastor and not their husband. These are real things that happen. So the tentacles of this black church has many fingerprints in the minds of our people, and especially our women, because they could just listen to the pastor. They don't gotta listen to you. But God speaks through man, period. Not just the pastor, but man, period. So if your man may have a different perspective of what you think God is, you need to listen to that man. But women put the pastor and Jesus above their man. Exactly. Brother said spent life saving on the church. Absolutely. Well, they only have religion via Code Noir, the Black Christian codes. You know what? Let's look up that. Let's look up that. Let's look up that. Let's look that up.
To my melanated family and spiritually conscious brothers and sisters around the world, I am Brother Tommy, and it is time to get it in. One love, family. This video is going to discuss the Christian Black Codes of 1724.
This is the
Christian Black Codes of 1724.
These are the Christian Black Codes of 1724 being explained. Let's listen.
To my melanated family and spiritually conscious brothers and sisters around the world, I am Brother Tommy, and it is time to get it in. One love, family. This video is going to discuss the Christian Black Codes of 1724. The Christian Black Codes of 1724 were initiated during Reconstruction after the Civil War to control blacks after they were emancipated. Passed by southern states, instead of giving blacks the same rights as white people, The codes limited the blacks' freedom severely. They included that blacks had to be in service of a white person, that they could not have congregations together, that they could not speak out, and that they could not have weapons. They also included that blacks could not go out without a white supervisor, thus blacks had to take on the religions and holidays and gods of their white superiors. These same black codes were said to have been made null and void with the ratification of the 13th Amendment in 1865, although many southern states adopted black codes to keep former slaves from voting and imposed other restrictions. The 14th and 15th Amendments were to supposedly have eliminated these codes, but as you read them down below, and study the law of the land in conjunction with religion and politics, you'll discover through the 54 articles that these codes have been modernized in a disguise, and many are still in effect to this very day.
Modernized in disguise and still in effect to this very day. See, a lot of the mentalities of our people came via policy. It didn't come from some divine revelation. Exactly. The Most High is you. It didn't come from some divine revelation. It came through policy. So by the time you got here, it seems like it was normalized, but it's not normal. That's like somebody growing up in a gang. Their mama was a Crip, their daddy was a Crip. So that's all they know, but that don't mean that's what you need to be. This shit was given to our ancestors via a whip. They didn't have nothing else. All they had was this book. They told them they couldn't read, and then when they was able to read, that's the first thing they gave them, this book. So why would you limit your mind to somebody who couldn't read? That doesn't make sense, y'all. You're allowed to read, Google, research, library. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have the ability to be thorough in understanding things. So what they did shouldn't really matter to us. They made the best out of what they had, but you got more. So you should make more of what if you can with your life than they did. They did a lot with just a Bible and some cornbread. We got Chat, GTP, AI, and all this, and we don't know what the fuck going on. Something's wrong with us.
Article 1. Decrees the expulsion of the Jews from the colony. Article 2. Make it imperative on masters to impart religious instruction to their slaves. Article.
Make it imperative on the masters to impart religious instruction to their slaves. Made imperative. Your mind was curated in a laboratory. You don't even have your own mind. That's not your thoughts. Someone gave you those thoughts.
3. Permits the exercise of the Roman Catholic's creed only. Every other mode of worship is prohibited. Article 4. Negroes placed under the direction or supervision of any other person than a Catholic are liable to confiscation. Article 5.
Are y'all hearing what this man is saying? He said Negroes. I gotta slow this down because I got the speed up. Y'all need to hear this in this regular speed.
Sunday.
That's too damn slow. Like this is the law. This is the law. This is not my opinion. This is the law.
The exercise of the Roman Catholic's creed only. Every other mode of worship is prohibited.
Listen.
Religious instruction to their slaves. Article 3. Permits the exercise of the Roman Catholic's creed only. Every other mode of worship is prohibited. Article.
Every other mode of worship is prohibited. So that spirit you got in people when they just like, they can't let it go. They can't let it go. That's a spirit that was put into you by law. That ain't just like, that's what I'm saying. You got to realize that you haven't even met yourself yet. Most of us haven't even met our real self. We're dealing with, yeah, they gonna be ready tonight though. We're dealing with something that has overtaken us, and we haven't even met our true selves yet. This stuff was put into law. It's not your thoughts that you have, and this is something that was put into you, and your grandmother and her mother and her mother and her mother and her mother, and they just transferred it down to you. But this is where it comes from. It don't come from heaven.
4. Negroes placed under the direction or supervision of any other person than a Catholic are liable to confiscation. Article 5. Sundays and holy days, holidays, are to be strictly observed. All Negroes found at work on these days are to be confiscated. Article 6. We forbid our white subjects of both sexes to marry with the blacks under penalty of being fined and subjected to some other arbitrary punishment. We forbid all curates, priests, or missionaries of our secular or regular clergy, and even our chaplains in our navy, to sanction such marriages. We also forbid all of our white subjects, and even the manumitted or freeborn blacks, to live in a state of concubinage with slaves. Should there be any issue from this kind of intercourse, it is our will that the person so offending, and the master of the slave should pay each a fine of 300 livres. should said issue be the result of concubinage of the master his slave, said master shall not only pay the fine, but be deprived of the slave and of the children, who shall be adjudged to the hospital of the locality, and said slave shall.
If you look at our country and how things are going, this shit is still in play. It is embedded in our minds today. And we don't know where this shit comes from. We think it comes from some divine intervention. We just came at the tail end of some shit, so it's been normalized. This shit has a paper trail, man. You ain't gonna find this in the Bible. You're gonna find this in history.
Shall be forever incapable of being set free. But shall this illicit intercourse have existed between a free black and his slave, when said slave according to the forms described by the church, said slave shall become free and legitimate, and in such case there shall be no application of the penalties.
After the region slaves were freed, southern communities passed
Mentioned in the present article.
black codes to control black citizens. And I hate to say this, that's why a lot of times I deal with my southern brothers and sisters, they don't be getting it like others do sometimes. Not all of them, but a lot of them that be on these spaces, that be talking and Bible thumping. Your mind was given to you. You haven't even met yourself yet.
Article 7. The ceremonies and forms prescribed by the Ordinance of Blois and by the Edict of 1691, for marriage, shall be observed both with regard to free persons and slaves. But the consent of the father and mother of the slave is not necessary, that of the master shall be the only one required. Article 8. We forbid all curates to process to effect marriages between slaves without the proof of the consent of their master, and we also forbid all masters to force their slaves into marriages against their wills. Article 9. Children, issued from the marriage of slaves shall follow the condition of their parents, and shall belong to the master of the wife and not of the husband, if the husband and the wife have different masters. Article 10. If the husband be a slave, and the wife a free woman, it is our will that their children, of whatever sex they be, shall share the condition of their mother, and be as free as
World Class said, this destroys the FBA versus tether war on both sides. You'll never hear them bring up this up in their debates because neither of them have a clue. No. These are the codes made by the Christians for your ass. They put edicts and restrictions on what you can learn. Anything outside of the Catholic faith was considered against the law, which leads to what I said earlier. Jesus was not teaching what they was teaching. That's why they killed him. He was considered a heretic. So if he was here today, the church wouldn't fuck with him. He would go up against the Pharisees. You know, the Pharisees like a minister or pastor or from back in those times. He would argue with them all the time. He was in the street with people that used to have rap sheets, used to be former criminals. That's who he fucked with. The woman that was around him was a prostitute. Who that sound like? Who fits that persona when you really break it down? It ain't nobody with no double-breasted Steve Harvey suit telling some woman and her son that $1,200 ain't enough. As long as these places exist, our people are going to stay destroyed for lack of knowledge. And they're a rest haven for our women when they avoid accountability. They run to the pastors. The church is a rest haven for unaccountable women. Look at Krishan, what's her name? Krishan Rock. All of a sudden now she a Christian. Because she don't want to deal with the accountability of getting high while her son was in her stomach. So now, go to the church. It's a joke, y'all. How long y'all gonna keep falling for it? Shout out to Rock Solid. Appreciate you, brother. How long y'all gonna fall for it? We got to wake up, man. I implore all y'all to start doing your homework. Do your research. Hold up, I got a quick one that I wanna drop this on y'all real quick, 2-second style. I'm gonna introduce y'all into some scholarship. We only gonna play a few minutes and I'm about to cut it off because I got a show to do with the brother. Unfiltered Black Man. This is from one of my OGs, and I'm gonna let him talk just for about 10, 15 minutes. Put the speed up. And he talks about the history of this belief. Briefly, I'm gonna let him talk about it briefly, then I'm gonna let y'all go.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me at this point if you don't see me looking straight at you. Because
Reverend Phil Valentine, get in tune with this man.
over the last 3 weeks, I have been invested in my books to come up with information for you about Christianity.
When you deal with people who do independent research, they don't have no dog in the fight. They're not aligned with any particular belief, so they're not bought and paid for. So they don't have nothing to do but give you the truth. And once upon a time, there were men in our community that would just give people the truth for free. They didn't ask for no bread. I mean, they would say, hey, if you got something, help me out. But they would just give it out the kindness of their heart. They would have lectures in their house. Like what you see turn into the modern day conscious community that result into I even think the manosphere is a product of the conscious community, to be honest. But this stuff started from men like this talking about real shit in their house. And it went viral. People just recorded on tapes. And it's the underground conscious community that started, that spread out to what you would see turn into Salnetta and turn into this one and turn into that one. It started from this man and other people like him, but he's one of the founding fathers of these type of conversations. His name is Reverend Phil Valentine, and he's an older brother. God forbid, I don't know how many years he got left. I'm trying to get him on my channel for an interview. I pray that I do. I met him when I was in my 20s. I can't find a picture, but I was able to meet this man. But he about to drop it a little bit on how the church was founded, the Church of Christianity was founded, and under what means it was founded.
You need to go and check the book Edgar Allan Poe, The Pit and the Pendulum. What is The Pit and the Pendulum about? The Pit and the Pendulum was written by Poe about a story told by a prisoner who was in the dungeon of the Spanish Inquisition. In there, they described everything that went on in the Spanish Inquisition. Now, I didn't have all of the different books. I couldn't find it. I couldn't stay in the library long enough, and I couldn't get to all my books. Most of my books are locked away in storage. The ones that I did have, if you could see my room, I wouldn't even bring you up to my room because my room is like it's like a paper blizzard. I sleep on my work. All right, that's how focused I become.
Absolutely.
Every time I want to put a particular program together. So I wanted to put together first and foremost the books that were banned, deleted, or rejected by the Roman Christian Church as apocryphal. Listen. Now, the word apocryphal means uninspired.
Uninspired. Listen.
Uninspired simply means that, okay, this one can get through without telling too much. Here are some of the books that were deleted from the Bible. Now, let me first say this to all you Christians out there who believe that your branch of Christianity is the one that say, oh, well, hey, that's Roman Catholicism. That's them. That's the Catholics. No, it ain't. Because the Catholics are your father and your mother. I don't give a damn what Christianity you worship. I don't give a shit what Bible you use. You are still using the text that came out of the Roman Church under Constantine and the Council of Nicaea at 325. So you can call yourself a Lutheran. You can call yourself a Methodist, Episcopalian.
No matter.
I don't give a shit. You are still a Christian by any other name.
Bingo.
You are a branch on the same tree with the same roots.
Yep.
Now, I can only bring out 26 of the books that were deleted.
26 books.
And they are the Gospels of Thomas and Nicodemus, the Proto-Evangelium of James, the Gospel of the Nativity of Mary, the history of Joseph the Carpenter, the Gospel of the childhood of the Redeemer, the Gospel according to the Egyptians, the Gospel of Bartholomew, the Gospel of Judas Iscariot.
Where are these books at? You ever heard of them shits? What test in your life can you pass with missing chapters in the book? What test? A brother said, Question, Illa, what would you say normal is, and could you describe common sense? Common sense to me simply comes down to this. Do unto others that you would want them to do unto you. I don't want nobody to smack me in the face, so I'm not going to smack them. I don't want nobody to disrespect me, so I'm not going to disrespect them. I don't want nobody to take from me, so I'm not going to take from them. I don't want nobody to lie on me, so I'm not going to lie on them. I don't want nobody to kill me unprovoked, so I'm not going to kill them unprovoked. Basic. How do I want to be treated? That's how I'm going to treat people. To me, that's common sense. Now, if you don't know how to treat people, then you got another problem. But to me, that's the baseline. I'm going to treat you as if I'm you. I'm going to deal with you how I would want you to deal with me. I want you to be patient. I want you to be understanding. I want you to understand me when I'm not in the best mood. I want you to understand me when I am in a good mood. Don't take advantage when I'm in a good mood, but also understand when I'm not in a good mood. I want you to have accountability. These are basic things, basic concepts. So I think when you stick to that, you'll be fine. But like I said, we already read earlier how our natural disposition, according to the priest that came here with Christopher Columbus, was the best disposition of behavior of anybody in the world. And this is previous and prior to them accepting the faith of Christianity. So when somebody tells you that Christianity and good behavior is synonymous, it's a lie. Back to the OG.
The gospel of the recollections of Peter, the gospel of Adam and Eve, the gospel of Barnabas.
What are these books at?
The gospel of Barabbas, the book of the Nazarenes, the gospel of the revelations of Peter, the gospels of the shepherd of Hermas, the first epistle of Clement, the second epistle of Clement, the epistle to Barnabas, the diatessaron.
That's another thing we got to realize. We all feel it when something ain't right. That's funny. Homie said, it's an anime called One Piece with a character named Bartholomew who always walks around with the Bible. See? They always dropping clues. But when something is off, you feel that shit. If you just get quiet, the universe will tell you what you need to do and what not to do, or to send somebody. Like today, right? I was about to go ham on some goofy people because they was talking slick. And I was going to do a whole show exposing their weird behavior. But God sent somebody and said, don't do that. What you can do and where you're going, they're not going. So what did I do? I deleted all them shits. I didn't need a pastor. The universe sends you people and send you little signs all the time. You just got to shut the fuck up and listen. Because by the time it got to come from a pastor, it's probably too late. We get signs and wonders all the time. We just look around and pay attention to our lives. There's always somebody coming with something. That day you was having a bad day and then that person just says something nice to you. Who you think that is? See, y'all be looking for what you see in these books so you don't recognize the spirit of God when it come around you because you're looking for somebody that say Hokumo Shando. When it might just be that bum or that little kid or that bird that just sat on your balcony and just stood there for a second and just left. Y'all don't know how to pay attention and shit because you out of tune. We got some super chats. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. You know I got to shout y'all out. Yeah, we got $10 by the lovely Chanel. Shout out to .com with the new membership. Appreciate you. And DX1077 with the super sticker. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Brother Ham, H.A. Machiavelli said, I always ask myself, what gave them the right to tell us what books to go in and out of a holy book? Absolutely, brother. You're thinking now. See, I want y'all, I don't got all the answers. I'm just here to help you think. Think, y'all. Think. How does the people that we taught how to read, write, bathe, tell us what God said. That don't make no sense. We got to think.
The Gospel of Tatian, the Gospel of the Essenes, the Revelation of Elias, the Hymn of Jupiter of Clementius, the Proverbs of Sirach, the Book of Abu Dazura, the Gospel of Enoch, and the Gospel of the Infancy of Jesus the Christ. Y'all know anything about this? Absolutely not. You heard about the Gospel of Barnabas. Well, that's one out of how many in here? Now forgive the bottom of my head or the back of my head, because I'm going to be speaking to you from all of what I have written. It's best for me to just put it down on the record for you, because I have a lot to read to you. The birth of Constantine, the father of Christianity.
Listen to this.
On the crossroads.
This is what I really want y'all to hear. This is the person who founded the faith that our people are dealing with today from a legal and political stance. It was made by Constantine. And he's going to tell you what Constantine did to make this faith the faith of the land. Listen carefully.
Of the Balkans near a city called Naissus, Naissus. An illegitimate child was born in 274 AD to a rural barmaid who flirted freely with a Roman officer. The boy was named Constantine. He was born in the inn. This boy was ambitious. He joined the Roman military and quickly climbed up to the ranks of soldiery in the east. On the banks of the Danube River, for bravery in the battle on that Danube River, he was made a tribune. He rose to become a Caesar. He made himself an Augustus. Patience, prudence, determination, and optimism brought this son of an innkeeper to the very banks of the Tiber at the head of an army. Now, I'm writing to you based upon my own literary license. You're actually listening to how I write. All right. So it may tend to take on flair because I like to do that. I'm a Libra. I'm an artist by nature. I'm a wordologist. All right. So it's a little flavor in here, a little season. I think we're a little grown up now. We don't need, Mary ran here. Jack saw this. All right. Across the bridge from Rome was Maxentius and his army, 200,000 strong. Now you just imagine Maxentius and Constantine across the river from one another, facing off to become the next Caesar. Now you got to remember that at the time of Constantine, Rome was about to go into the toilet anyway. And at that time, there were about 5 or 6 other thugs vying for the throne of Caesar. So there were all these little compactors, almost like the gangs, little parts of the mafia. Whose family are you with? Constantine saw Severus try to take over Rome. Severus, someone say something? Oh, Severus.
I love y'all so much. I appreciate you because you proven that I ain't got to say a bunch of dumb shit to get blessed. Appreciate you. Shout out to H.A. Machiavelli. He said, nah, for real. Salute my G. Salute you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all give me faith in humanity because I ain't gonna have to put on no shit. So I know I got a lot of people that came through for the anti shit, but it's more to me than that. Thank you for the boost though. But y'all rocking with the real. Let's keep it going.
Constantine followed. Severus went across. No good. He watched Galerius try to cross the Ponte Mall and failed. At Ponte Mall, Constantine halted his army and he waited. Now, one day during his wait, he had a dream. He saw flaming in the sky a monogram in Greek of the so-called Christ of the gospel. This is the story they give it to you. In the flame of the burning cross, there were the words, in hoc signo vinces, or in this sign, thou shalt conquer. Regarding this particular incident, Eusebius of Caesarea, the father of ecclesiastical history and Christianity, writes, and of course, he got flavorful too. At dawn, Constantine set his artificers to work and had the sign made, beautiful with gold, gems. The Romans now call the sign the labarum. It was in the following form, a long spear. The spear of destiny is what the Illuminati during the time. Now, this particular spear that Constantine made became the spear of destiny. This spear of destiny is what Hitler was looking for when he began going.
See, these people think the spear of destiny is the spear that went inside Jesus. No, Constantine made that shit. See, this is history.
Go across the Rhine trying to destroy everything. He was actually looking for the spear of destiny for the Pope because the Pope said that he would support Hitler if all the countries he conquered became Catholic. They shook hands over it and said, okay.
That's why I be telling y'all, religion, especially Christianity, is political. Belief in God is innate. But which one you choose, whether it be Catholic, whether it be Muslim, Catholic, Christians, the same shit, whether people believe it or not. Christian, Muslim, Jew, these are political fraternities that you can choose to express the thought of God. And it has to line up with who you are naturally. That's why Islam, a lot of them is polygamous, even though most people in the Bible is polygamous, but the Christians don't want to be polygamous, but everybody in the Bible is polygamous. So the Islam is more in line with the nature of the black man. I'm not in any religion, but it's more in line in your nature. So when you pick a religion, it's not a triple threat match between Allah, Jesus, and Yahweh for the black people consciousness title of the world. Like, that's not what this is. It's a political, it's like if you're going to work, you all want to make money, but which job is better for you? This job might have better benefits. This job might have better PTO. You're going to get paid regardless. So your connection with the Most High is innate. But when you pick a religion, there's a political and economic element to that Christianity doesn't address. It's just some place to shout and belief and let all this emotion and lustful energy out. That's why a lot of women be in the floor screaming and hollering. My mother told me, she said, baby, before she died, she said, baby, when we used to be in them churches and you see all them women rolling on the floor, they was horny. You understand something. A lot of them women back in the day, they didn't have no husband. They was waiting on the Lord. So they need women like sensations. So when you ain't got no man, you need an outlet. Rolling all on the floor. Ah, God, that's sexual shit. That's sexual. That's them releasing this lust they got, because they've been taught that wanting sex is a demon of lust. So they on the floor screaming it out. Yeah, that shit ain't gonna go nowhere. You better get you a man and get your back broke before you die. So everything ain't what it seemed, man. Back to it.
Now, it was overlaid with gold, crossed by a piece laid over. On the tip of all was a crown, formed in gold and jewels interwoven, on which were placed two letters indicating the name of Christ, the Greek letter P being intersected by X exactly at the center. This was the first symbol of your Christ.
That's the first symbol.
That is the sign that Constantine took into battle to conquer. From the transverse piece, which crossed the spear, was suspended a banner of purple cloth covered with profuse embroidery and bright jewels and gold. It was a square form, and over it, beneath the cross, was placed a golden half-length picture of the emperor and his children. This standard he ordered to be carried at the head of all of his armies. This was quoted from a book called The Council of Nicaea by A.W. Dudley. Now, you're going to get a lot of names of books, because I made sure that you could go and find out for yourself.
Do y'all know what the Council of Nicaea is? Because people think these thoughts they have are just natural. This is the Council of Nicaea. The first Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, convened by Emperor Constantine in Nicaea, now Iznik, Turkey, was the first ecumenical council aimed at resolving the Arian controversy regarding the divinity of Christ. It affirmed that the Son is consubstantial with the Father, condemning Arianism and producing the initial Nicene Creed. So they had to have a discussion over what beliefs we should use. If you have a discussion of belief, that means it's not fucking real. Could you imagine somebody having a discussion on who's your parents? Is she a boy? Is she a girl? Some things are just what it is. If you got to discuss something on how we're going to express it, that means you don't know what it is. And you're coming up with something and you're picking what's more palatable for the people. That means it's a lie. Back to the OG.
So Constantine with his army and the Labarum, held high for inspiration, crossed the Tiber and took Rome. But it must be remembered that before all this, in the so-called 2nd century, the Roman Empire had ceased to expand. In the so-called 3rd century, it crashed to pieces. So early in the 4th century, when Roman civilization was in the last stages of its own decline, there were as many as 6 imperial thugs fighting for the throne of the Caesars. One of them was Constantine. But Constantine had one advantage, one hook that he used to gain the upper hand. He discovered that the Christians, or the Christians at the time they were called, would fight for an emperor who favored their religion.
So he said that they would fight for an emperor that would favor their religion. The roots of Christianity is political, not divine, but political.
They held strategic positions secretly, both within and without the society. So he struck a bargain with the Christian bishops, reaped his reward in victory over his rivals, and for this success, he made Christianity the religion of the empire and suppressed all other existing systems.
So because they helped him win a war, Christianity became the faith of the empire because they helped him win a war and they suppressed all other beliefs. That's how it came. So when Jesus came, supposedly, with something outside of the faith, he was considered a heretic. And they killed him because he was able to galvanize the people outside of their theology. Brother said 11 hours of content max from my memory of this clip. You seen this, Ronald Powell? You seen this video too?
It was not the gospel Jesus who established Christianity, but the Roman Emperor Constantine. And it was Eusebius of Caesarea who finished the job of writing his fraudulent history of Christianity.
Bang.
So who knows what might have happened to the cult of Christos had not Constantine adopted it as his state religion. The Roman and Greek scholars of that time mocked and dismissed this baby Jesus nonsense in the manger, and for that, they paid with their lives.
The people that act, think about it. The scholars of that day was like, what the fuck is this shit? Oh yeah, shout out to Popular Truth. I met him in real life. So they're saying that hold up. I done lost my train of thought. Let me rewind what he said. Oh yeah, I remember. He said the actual intellectuals of that day was laughing like, what the fuck is this shit? This is not true. This is not history. And they killed them niggas. That's why when you go against it now, people be like, they be ready to attack you. It's a spirit in our people that was enacted thousands of years ago. Hold on, I got somebody. Yeah, you can send them up. Yeah, send them up. All right. Thousands of years ago. That's how.
In the 4th century, Christianity rode to triumph. The victory was won, but not by Christian teaching. It was won by bloody swords and religious wars that continued to disembowel Europe over the next 1600 years. These wars in Europe had not ceased. Look at Bosnia today. Bosnia today is a continuation of that Christian war. The Christian ministers of Rome thereafter were treated like kings because of Constantine. They were treated like royalty. Valuable gifts were made to the churches, and Constantine gave the...
Why you think that all the black people that got bread in our society, they all what? Christian. The Bible said that Satan took Jesus up to the highest mountain and said, I'll give you the world if you just bow to me. Jesus said no. So the people who got everything in the world, who you think they bowing to? What if the God of the church is the devil? See, y'all ain't ready for that conversation. That's the next. That's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the next one. I'm gonna let this sink in. I'm gonna let this sizzle in y'all spirit.
Palace of the Lateran to Sylvester, Bishop of Rome. This act was the beginning of the papal ascendancy. This palace was once the estate of Fausta, Fausta, the wife of Constantine. Then began the systematic murder of these initiates of the ancient mystery system who refused to accept the new faith. Maxentius was Constantine's first victim. Maximian was his second. Licentius was his third. Galerius was his fourth. And you have to remember, as we go on, that he murdered his brother-in-law, he murdered his wife, and he murdered his mother.
He murdered his brother-in-law, his wife, and his mother over this. This is the foundation of this faith. This is the spirit of it. This is the spirit of this shit. Look at how our people act. They be ready to fucking kill you over this shit. because they're inhabited by somebody else's spirit. Y'all got to understand where this stuff come from. It has bloody, demonic origins that have nothing to do with anything divine. People were murdered. He killed his mother, his wife, and his brother for this faith to be accepted. Because the intellectuals of the day didn't think it was intellectually sound. So what did they do? They murdered them. So with that being said, y'all, that's enough for today's lesson. I think I gave y'all enough. I appreciate everybody. Hold on, Shaggy, I'm coming. Somebody at my door. I appreciate everybody that pulled up. I'm gonna be on with the brother Black Man Unfiltered soon in the next probably 10 minutes. So look out for that. Peace and love. Thank you to everybody that supported the show today. And we are out of here.
I'm 10 toes. Hey, yo, the game got me mortified. So I focus on being fortified. Twisted shit encrypted and codified. Products of a simulation. First generation sufferers of overstimulation. My stipulation got me looking for some ventilation. I changed the station, ignoring Satan's invitation. No visitation for my brothers off solicitations. Incarcerations, it's called the Matrix. If life's a bitch, then she's a dominatrix. So death got to be your masculine presence. Opening his arms while you bask in his essence. Sometimes when I talk to God, I call my passive aggressive. Will I open heaven's doors or just burn from my lessons? Blessings. You know the game been told. If I was you, then my soul would have been sold. Watch what you do, cause it's coming back tenfold. Either way it goes, man, I'm 10 toes, 10 toes, 10